Yes, I think so.
Okay, so let me also. ठीक है. So we'll begin. Uh,
Yeah.
जी. Okay, we are live. Thank you so much, Ajay.
Save him all and
Yeah,
happy Ambedkar Jayanti to all. Uh,
Swati ji, let me share brief introduction of Swati, our friend who is joining all the way from Sydney now. और हम बहुत खुश हैं और आज का जो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट सेशन स्वाति हमारे साथ समय बिताएगी और अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस शेयर करेंगे. तो मैं एक फॉर्मली सबको जय भीम और वेलकम करता हूं आज के मुक्ति पर्व के लास्ट सेशन में, लास्ट दिन में, जिसके पहले सेशन में हमारे साथ है स्वाति सुना, जो कि यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ सिडनी में पीएचडी कैंडिडेट है और उनका शोध का विषय एंड चैलेंजेस, experiences, challenges, and resistance, a study of Dalit women's experiences in higher education institution in Odisha. स्वाति कलिंग मित्र ट्रस्ट है, जो एक सामाजिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है और जो हमारे बड़े रेवोल्यूशनरीज और अपने फिलोसफर्स जो ऑपरेशन से लड़ते हैं और इनजस्टिस लड़ते हैं, उनके विचारों से प्रेरित ऐसा ये कलिंग मित्र ट्रस्ट है, उससे जुड़ी है. स्वाति हमारे टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोशल साइंसेस में भी ASA, जो अम्बेडकर स्टूडेंट एसोसिएशन की कोर मेंबर भी रह चुकी है 2014 से 19 के बीच में. तो स्वाति, मैं एक फॉर्मल वेलकम करता हूँ आपका, और आप अपनी बात रख सकते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच.
thank you, Mintro. Jai Bhim all, and again, happy Phule Ambedkar Jayanti to all. And I'd like to thank Anup sir for inviting me to speak on Phule Ambedkar Jayanti. And I salute your hard work, Nalanda team, and this is immense contribution to our movement. Thank you very much. Actually, when Anup sir messaged me regarding this program, so I thought, what should I speak? And I talked to my friend. So I should thank also him, like a Subran. So we discuss about like the gender and yeah, so many caste, how we see in our Ambedkarite movement. So like, and I thought, yeah, this is a great topic and we should talk about it. We should talk about it. And also I discuss with Manjula Pradeep. So yeah, and thank you, Manjula Di, for being there whenever I need you. So thank you very much. And today, therefore, like today topic is like gender discourse in Ambedkarite movement. I'll keep it short. If we'll have time, then we can discuss further. So let's be grateful to our leader Jotiba Phule and Babasaheb on their birth anniversary, and who make our life easy and uh, yeah, easy and beautiful. We are because they were. It is happy to see everywhere, like in the world, people are celebrating Ambedkar Jayanti, and it means like our community gradually aware of our history and acknowledge the struggle by our great leaders. They fought their entire life for just for equal society, irrespective of caste, gender, and class. and race. Like Brahminism, like known as the caste system, is the world's longest surviving hierarchy along with the gender and patriarchy in India. Due to the gender and patriarchy and caste discrimination, Jotiba Phule, Savitribai Phule, and Babasaheb, they were started a social movement to annihilate this social problem at the time. So Savitri Bai Phule to Ambedkar, they started school colleges for women, Dalit community, and marginalized community. They fought for women rights, including you can see like the Hindu Code Bill and yeah many other like movement also like people have documented. From my understanding, they knew at the very beginning that caste stand on gender and patriarchy. So we can take an example to like suppose caste in India, their mechanism, genesis and development. So this is the theory of caste and how it developed. And this is something important to talk about. So according to this theory, the endogamy is the only characteristic that is the peculiar to caste. And if we succeed in showing, like I'm quoting something from caste in India, like I think it's very important to talk about like the endogamy, how endogamy like develop and in history and how it maintained like like the endogamy, like endogamy means like controlling the women's sexuality and within the marriage. So through this kind of controlling women's sexuality and operation, they can maintain caste system. So Baba Sahib like mentioned like the conjugal rights are the provide for within, and it is necessary to maintain a numerical equality between the marriageable units of the two sexes within the group desirous of making itself into a caste. So it is only through the maintenance such equality that that the group necessary endogamy can be kept intact. Or and there are so many examples Baba Sahib like giving in caste in India in history. If we see the history like burning widow with the deceased husband and imposing celibacy on the widow or wedding him to a girl not yet marriageable, like the underage. So that is all about the controlling women's sexuality in the Brahminism. And these are the patriarchal custom and the ritual. And the question is that why the women always need to sacrifice for this caste. And let's see what Baba Sahib says again. I'm quoting again some of the, I think it's very important. Man is the dominant figure of in every groups of the two sexes, has the greater prestige. This is the clear, like from the Baba Sahib and from the caste in India, that mean always, always like men are in superior in our society. Like within this traditional superiority of men over women, these wishes have always been consulted. So on the other hand, women has been easy prey to all kind of iniquitous injunction, religious, social, or economic. But man as a maker of injunction, like injunctions means kind of commanding some like to women and controlling through something else, like through the economic or social or religious. So this is above and above all them. And the such of being the caste, you cannot accord the same kind of treatment to the women, to the men. We can see like how women are treated in the caste system. So if you want to more detail, like you can see the page number 11, caste in India. So this is the fact is that caste stand on the gender and the patriarchy. So why Baba Sahib referring like how men, every section men are always superior. So we can see in the caste in India clearly Baba Sahib, writing about all this gender and patriarchy and how women control within the system. So for me, like the caste system, like when the existence of caste are added to this operation of women, it's become worse, and thus the caste system certainly require gender and patriarchy to sustain further. Like this is my understanding, like yeah, to when I read caste in India, then I feel, oh, this is all about women and controlling their sexuality to, keep further the caste system, and we can say the Brahminism. So according to this theory, the gender and patriarchy existed before caste, and that's why women were become easy to be controlled and imposed anything men wanted. So gradually, this patriarchal system, or we can say the gender-based hierarchical practice, become an honor. And now the so-called the civil society, everywhere, people are practice and not questioning this gender or patriarchy. And however, this is the social movement, social movement, and any kind of social movement should questions this system, this Brahminism, whether So coming to the our main point, like the gender discourse in the Ambedkarite movement. Though the Brahminical patriarchy, the main thing in the Brahminism. Let me clarify what the Brahminism, what is the Brahminical patriarchy. It's like it is like Babasaheb mentioned in, I think, Annihilation of Caste. Like graded inequality means the upper caste men most privileged, and upper caste women are more privileged, and the lower caste men are like uh, more deprived, and lower caste women are most deprived. So we can see here, like, we are discriminating by graded, in graded sense. Like someone is very in the top, and they can control everywhere, then the upper caste women, then the we can say the lower caste. I mean, we can take in case like the Dalit men also, like they are deprived, but in the sense within the community they are also some way they are privileged. Like, and the Dalit women, and we can say like the untouchable, in the sense like we are living in the real sense in untouchability. So Dalit women are more like deprived, most deprived in this patriarchal system. So the question is that, like the Brahminical patriarchy and gender, like kind of necessity to the caste system to maintain. So why gender and patriarchy never raised broadly? I mean, the broadly and specifically in this Ambedkarite movement. Like before, we can say like we can say during the Babasaheb Jotiba Phule, like there were like kind of movement, and we can say like women were there and fighting, standing equally with the Ambedkar. There are many photo we can say, and also yeah. So my like for me, like why now, like we can see not now, like during the 19, like we are talking about the caste religion, but like not much. We don't like we didn't talk much about like patriarchy and gender in our movement. Like I don't know why, maybe we have confused about it, or maybe we think like patriarchy and gender is not our agenda, or we are or we maybe we like benefited from it, or like I don't know, I need to think about it or reflect upon it. And it is the most it is the most oppressed gender, like who educated themselves and questions gender and patriarchy, and they started writing about it, even and questions the Dalit movement, Ambedkarite movement. So, and what is the reason now they spoke about their rights? So I'm referring like the most oppressed gender. I'm referring to maybe a kind of Dalit women or untouchable women, so community. So because maybe they face multiple discrimination based on gender, patriarchy, and religion, color, and so on. So which we are like which are we need to think about it, and how many women are leading the like social movement as a leader. That is also need to be reflect upon it and work on it. Still women don't get the opportunity to grow and heal, like treated as a human being in every aspect of the society. We can see. So how do we answer that they live they live a better life? And because we have to focus on ourselves sometimes, and we don't see like outside reality. Even we like women in our community also like face so many discrimination. I have also mentioned like the gender, and and so on. Like women are not safe outside or inside. So I can say like the women, Dalit women are most victim of this, the patriarchal system. And then like everyday rape happening. I just saw one news like in Odisha, Western Odisha. This case is so like growing very rapidly. So this is the unfortunate, like we are also need to say like we are also like the human being, which we also needed to be like treated as a human being. So this is I think we need to think about it. And we always talk about, yeah, I already said it. And yeah, we believe in a social justice, and we have learned from the Dr. Ambedkar how do we take forward the vision and the mission of Dr. Ambedkar to build a better society. So how do we help or support women at the grassroots at the various level and created their life to develop themselves human being and to make changes which visible. So, like Dr. Ambedkar, like dream was to see every woman at par with men. But when we see a hurdle that women from our community face, it's not something we have to discuss, and we have to discuss about. And like we must like create a discourse around everywhere. And if it is the social movement and it is the Ambedkarite movement, I think it's essential to tech, it is a kind of important issues for their moment. So Baba Sahib has already said like women have to revolt that what is the vital sense of untouchability and gender and patriarchy, and then we can annihilate the caste. So we like without a gender and caste, I don't know how we can annihilate the caste. So I'm again one questions I found, and I think it's very important. Like I'm repeating again, Baba Sahib one questions. Baba Sahib question in caste in India, like the flaw and ingenious sophistry indicate why these institutions were honored, and but doesn't tell us why these there were practiced. Like questioning to like the gender and patriarchy and the maybe the caste and of course caste and endogamy. So all the time this is the movement, and it is the most, and the philosophy grow around, and it's long afterward to justify it and giving it a moral support. So now we need to see where our movement stand. Yeah, this is the Baba Sahib already questioned at that time, and we are questioning again this the same things. So here is my question. Like some people say, like like men never leave patriarchy because they are benefited. Okay, some of people are all we are together in social movement. Like how can we justify our movement then if if you want to benefit something and you don't want to leave something because you are benefited from something. So this is very important, and how will justify our movement. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much. We can talk about it and discuss about it. Hello, are you there? I
Sorry.
unmute.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, uh, your intervention on caste and gender, basically that surrounds the position of women, Dalit women, basically, and it's an important question and very much valid. That much of the talk is about caste, but never the patriarchy is ever discussed in this setup, because women has been at the operation level of women, Dalit women is at different levels. So you like rightly explained it, but considering that and your own experience into academics, and your own journey, if you could like throw light on it, and how you came to know about, or you could discuss about it. I mean, this whole practice, like we also reflect our lives whenever we go into university and all. So can you share a bit about your own journey, which and this whole approach of yours, that how you are looking on this aspect of operation, and you're working on this aspect of operation?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question. Yeah, like in my childhood, it was like I didn't know about anything really. Yeah, even I didn't know about the movement or Ambedkar or Savitribai Phule or anything. But after my undergraduate, I came to know about Nagloka, and through some friends, and yeah, I came to Naglok with my brother Jitu, and yeah, like after Nagloka, in Nagloka also, it's all about the caste, but they didn't teach us like about the gender and patriarchy, not at all. So and then after and yeah, we like after Nagloka, I was very emotionally into in the moment, like we we read, we taught about the Ambedkar and our social movement, their struggle. And after that, I joined, I did master from Babasaheb University, Lucknow, and it was sociology. So I was there, and Jitu was there. Jitu was in history actually. He was in history, and at that time, we started, reading about other kind of, literature. And mostly I think, for me, because at the time I didn't involve any kind of movement also, be honest, because just came I just when I passed Nagloka, I just went to Lucknow for my master. And actually at that time I had studied a lot, related, not a lot, just basic things. And Jitu actually inspired me to read about this, the second sex and other kind of book related to gender, and in Buddhism also, how women praised in the history. And then I came through again. I came through in. After that, I think, yeah, I joined the KMT, Kalinga Mitra Trust, which is based on Ambedkarite movement. Yeah. And then I came to TISS. And yeah, in TISS also I have learned much, and in our, like the Kalinga Mitra Trust. But at the time also, yeah, at that time, I was in one program, I was invited to talk about something women empowerment. Yeah, so I started talk about, because I was so emotional, like how Dalit women face everywhere, kind of like I started to realize my own journey, like how to be a women in Dalit community, and how to be women in broader society, in the caste society. So this, yeah. But when I see, too focused to specifically gender and patriarchy, and I was involved in many moments, and yeah, just call someone to give talk about the gender, and the patriarchy, mostly the women empowerment, in the so name of the women empowerment. But specifically, I didn't see anywhere to talk about, only and specifically the gender, it's kind of never, mostly. Yeah. And now people are, because of the so many criticism going around, people are talking about this caste, specifically the patriarchy, Brahminical patriarchy. Yes.
Nice, nice, great to know. Swati, I mean, you have you come from place Odisha, and you have I mean, it's a rare feat to reach first of all a central university in India, and then
Mhm.
to making it to University of Sydney. So, I mean, you also have a rare achievement, which I can say, because not many of us have this journey, which I mean, you have taken, and coming from such background and making it to University of Sydney. So, how has been your experience? For I mean about reaching University of Sydney, and also now at present when you are there. So can you share your experiences both before and after coming to Australia?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it also. I am here. It's all the contribution of our society, our great leader. They whatever they have been done for us to be here actually. So it's thankful to for all yeah all of you guys and. So I'm sorry again. The question is how I came here and what was my experience before, right?
Before also and after coming into Australia also, like it both your journey and what are you.
Yeah, like I was like in my childhood, like like I wanted to study kind of person. I was being in my childhood, and that's why I just easily because being a girl is not easy to come, from home to come out from home and to study somewhere else. Not easy, but uh, when I see my family also, they're very supportive, kind of, so kind of my family is very, I'm grateful to them because I don't know my mother and maybe our family is not patriarchal somewhere, but they are also some sense they are patriarchal. They are very nice to me, but they are not nice to other people also. So they never question me about anything about study, about marriage. They never question or talk about anything to me. So, but at the same time, so that is so I came to Nagloka first, and I just finished my master from sociology in Lucknow, and then after I came to Tata Institute, we met there, and that's all. And I prepared when I came to know about the National Overseas Scholarship. Someone just sent email via TISS Scholar, Ambedkar Student Association. I just read all, I went through all, and I thought this is so easy. I thought this is so easy to go because, now also there are not many requirements to maybe come here, but there are so many process, harassment process. Like I'm talking about the ministry, scholarship process, and if you go to the ministry they don't talk about you, they don't talk, they don't allow, they I mean a kind of harassment for us, for for because they know this is the these are the students coming from the Dalit community, so they never give respect you. So that was my experience in ministry, and I came here, but I struggle a lot to get this scholarship actually, because yeah, so and because in when I was in peace, I made my mind, no, I want to live like this, or I want to go somewhere else, and I wanted to like started from beginning. I don't know, I felt like that, and I started applying, UK. I had to offer letter from UK also, and to offer letter from Australia. So, and I thought the university is Sydney. I think it's I think reputed also, and the ranking in like, yeah, it's good in ranking also around 40 to 40 in the world. So, and education's also in good, like, I mean, the reputed and in ranking also just came here. Yeah, and here I think, yeah, experience. I think all over good, but I heard a lot about the race risk, like racism here, and it's true. Maybe I don't face much because I'm living in the Sydney. But if you go to like the Wollongo and other kind of village area, there are like, yeah, it's much visible, and now Asian people are facing so much racism. Yeah, education is good. We have friend here. We talk. Yeah.
I mean,
And I'm sorry, when I came
yeah.
here, like, yeah, so my community, I can say my community, like I had like the financial issues, so people, supported me, and that, yeah. So it's overall, all kind of, I am here is because of my community and all the struggle people have, had for us to be, to be here. It's kind of, yes. Thank you for all of them. Thank you. Yeah.
Great. I mean, when community comes together and they see a student, a girl student, I mean, so much into studies and so much enthusiastic about studies, the community, if encourages the student, it is a very, I mean, good sign of a community coming together and helping or making things possible for our own students. And this also marks that one student of us, if he or she goes to a university, for it opens up channels to others, like you are a channel to, that has been open to us, people like us who are sitting here, who are you develop aspirations that now Subodh can also apply for University of Sydney, or any girl from Odisha can also apply for University of Sydney. So is there any interaction after you have gone to Australia? Is there any interaction of such kind, like you are in KMT also? So you must be meeting students also. And
Yeah, actually, people were, they started to, they started to call me and ask me about many things. And after that, I thought it's better to, make a group and the WhatsApp group to, talk to like all together, not like one by one. It's taking time also. And mostly, whenever people call me, I always receive on the call from. And so in that group, actually only we had like one meeting, but they actually they don't active in the group. I share always whatever the scholarship information I have, I receive, I always share there. But they're very, kind of, they don't ask about it. And I once do, I ask, we can meet, we can talk about, yeah. But I personally talk to, who wanted to talk and ask me anything they want, information, applications, how to apply. Yeah. Yes. And I think one group, maybe the from Nagpur, they, invited me to speak to regarding the abroad study. So yeah, that was fine.
yes, I mean, and also your topic that of research, it is around the women in Odisha.
Yes.
Can you, like, I mean, it's your PhD thesis and all, but how did you come across it? I mean, you have explained the gender discourse and what at all is it, but you must be also having certain line of inquiry or certain suggestions to like overcome that. I mean, how did you like um, went across that topic? Would you like to say?
Actually, in my Mphil, actually, the same topic was there in Mphil. And yeah, just because, like, some people choose the topic because of there are some research you need to fill the gap, kind of. So because I felt like this is the something issues, and and I should work on it. Like, I already talked about how gender and caste, contribute to the little women lives worse. So like, the health. So maybe it's kind of, it's India is very difficult. If this other country people, take it like serious, and maybe it's a good for policy, and it's to contribute to the literature also, like the Dalit women literature in the sense, and the academic writing. But yeah, seriously, because in Odisha specifically, I took Odisha why in other, specifically in the Maharashtra, Nagpur, like the double discrimination, Dalit women, like the Sailaja Pek, and I think men are also working the same topic. And yeah, so I think there are two, three study based on the Maharashtra, Pune. Mumbai, and the other I may be Kerala. But yeah, so in Odisha, its untouchability and caste is very, it's very rapidly growing now. It's very, I think it's very more than history now. You can say much more than history. So, and I belong to the state, so it's easy to talk about with our language, during the field work, and I want to focus on my state. So that's all.
And yes, one can also relate, and one can also one also knows about their own environment, and how it and academic viewpoint also gives us a vision to, I mean, go over it and also study it. And our study is not mere just a study. We people who come from this kind of background, we have this strive for overcoming it, and we have this. And it may be a mere subject for others or anyone, but it means our life and our life experiences. So I mean, just want to go deep and wish to know that how is the I mean, like in Maharashtra, we know, like I know my reflexive environment, but still in Odisha, how does caste and gender work in like from like in spaces like villages or educational institutions? How what you have found, and what you think that is different or similar uh, with other states or other regions in regards of gender and in regards of caste.
Yeah. See, I can see like every day we are like reading newspaper and in social media also, like with so many posts regarding the rape, murder, and domestic violence and caste violence, caste sexual violence going on. But comparative, yeah, in Odisha also, I just said like I can share now. In Western Odisha, maybe in Western Odisha, and near to the Sambalpur, I don't know you know or no. So one boy tried to kill, maybe, or I don't know, maybe the boy is uh, belong to Dalit community, not Dalit community, the boy, maybe the ST community or upper caste. So try to kill her. So recently, and she admitted it in hospital. So, and it's untouchability is everywhere. We have, I can share my experience. Like we have like tribal state, I can say, not the whole I mean the state, but particularly the Western Odisha where I belong, like the Balangir, Kalahandi. So it's mostly tribal, and Dalit people live there, and OBC. So in my village there is no Brahmin, but in case they call the Brahmin when they do something related to related to some ceremony or puja, something kind of things. So but untouchability, like we face untouchable from like the from ST, also from OBC also, and mostly atrocity happened by the OBC community. So that is the reality, and it is everyday life. Maybe the news don't report, but we face and we struggle and we protest. That is the reality. And the gender, related to gender discrimination, it's like, yeah, everywhere. Like it is feed in our mind, like the women also don't support women kind of things, like they don't want to be a girl. Like when during my teas I went home, and some of my relative, they said, because they already have one boy, so they wanted maybe another boy or something. And they were scolding their girl, like why you should born kind of things. So kind of this gender discrimination is, you can say that much level. So it's like women also don't want to be don't see of women. So, and it's like, yeah, it's a kind of, like, yeah, it's very much there, gender and caste and untouchability Odisha. Maybe we don't see any report much, but because media don't report it, and it's upper caste media. Yeah.
Uh, it's, I mean, the regional structure of caste in and also the village structure, it matters in the functioning and the dynamics of caste, and it also then affects the gender aspect also, and how double discrimination is happens. It also like it's molded around that. One thing I would like, what do you see if there are certain states or there are certain people who are asserting about their identities, or making their way into education or through representation? So, do you find in Odisha there is, if there is any lack of representation, or there should be much more people into education, and that would be at least a, I mean, a first step, which may say. Uh, do you see it in this light, that in order to address also these questions, there is a need for setting up discourse in the common language in our region also, and for that also we need to have people into higher education or into representation. So is it a do we do other, like other states, like Maharashtra, they have people into, because of reservation they have moved into jobs and all, and they have become professors and all. But do you see the similar thing, or even a thing happening in Odisha? And if it's if it could be the reason that mainly that discourse is not at all a part in the local level or in the regional level, do you see like that?
Yeah, gradually, in Odisha also there are many, like uh, our Ambedkarite movements going on, like the university also or state also, and like I'm in the Kalinga Mitra Trust, so it is also like in, I mean, yeah, focused on the education also, and sometimes support students whenever they need for admission or any health issue or any, yeah, related to education. Yeah, and there are also other organization, MSY, we can say, and based on the Bhubaneswar, they are also working. And yes, sorry, again, lost. Yeah, the discourse, right? Are you talking about the which discourse?
I'm talking that discourse, because people will be sensitized only after certain discourse is put before them. Like caste discourse was put gradually through movements, through leaders, you know. So like that gender discourse in our people, I mean, it needs certain people to address first, and how will they address it? And there is no representation. If there is no representation in academia or in jobs and all, so this kind of interaction discourse, I think, what I feel is discourse needs certain push. Uh, uh, so, what do you think needs to be done in your region? That was I was asking.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's very important. Yeah, we are like now we are talking about the gender, and we already started to talk about and make people aware, but not that much. Yeah, so in that level, and I don't know about other organization how they are uh, like talking about the gender and patriarchy, but like so many people nowadays, people are criticizing each other, and wanted to go forward and change something, like, yeah, let's talk about these things like the gender, but I said, like, it's not like the specifically something like we're talking about the past, but yeah, in the one session, small session, we talk about only gender in the last session. Maybe people maybe at that time, all people maybe they leave the program or stay. It's kind of, but it should be, or kind of, we need to be specifically address this issue, and it's very 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 important. If we don't address or don't work on this, like, I don't know, like why Dalit women need to, make Dalit feminism again, the separate kind of movement. So we need to understand from this. Yeah, it is not that much there actually. Yeah.
It's not even in Maharashtra also, but still people are talking about it. I mean, we see some like groups, collectives have been like developing and all. So these kind of things are positive. The forum is also open to questions, and if our viewers on Digital Nalanda and on the YouTube page, if they have any questions for Swati, they may ask, because we have very less time left with us, and Swati also has some engagement. She's a PhD scholar. So if you have any questions which you need to ask, anything regarding our education, or our or any a question regarding foreign education also, you can ask. So the forum is open. Okay. We'll have questions in some time. Swati, one thing also, tell us about like how is the University of Sydney like, because you must have put up this research topic before them, and also how they have responded to it. I mean, there is much more. I mean, they look up to these kind of issues, and universities are very much inclined. So you have an experience of TISS also, and you have an experience of University of Sydney also. So how do you find these two universities, the difference or similarities, anything?
And related to my topic,
Yeah, because almost we explain, we when we put ourselves before TISS or any Indian universities, how they respond, how their professors respond, and when we go into foreign universities, is there a difference or is there any similarity?
yeah, I don't think so. There is no similarity. Actually, yeah. Um, Before, like in TISS, like yeah, like Padma Bilaskar, Professor Padma Bilaskar was my supervisor, and her work was like her work is based on like maybe, yeah, mostly Dalit uh, education, a bit for thought. So, and before I spoke to her, I just went through the profile check and I requested her, and she said yes, okay, yeah, but yeah, and then yeah, and I was enrolled in PhD in this also, and my supervisor was like art sir, like Stabil sir. But at the time, my mind was like I need to go out. But I used to not be. It's very less. I met Stabil sir like two, three, four times, and sir helped me a lot regarding reference recommendation to apply. Yeah, and then I came out, but yeah, I found like here something interesting. Before I came here, you need to apply for, if you are applying PhD, you need to find a supervisor. That is the important thing if you are coming for a PhD program. So I started applied, so people response very, very encouraging. It was very encouraging and supportive, and at the time when I was applying, like I felt like so I mean so good. People, even some people, some professors, they might maybe retired, but they gave other contact number to contact other people. Maybe they may be helpful and they can guide you. And mostly they like mostly in most replied like, this is a brilliant topic, this is a good, and yeah, like kind of supportive email ID. So from that, response also, like I was very much, kind of, I feel like encouraged and confidence to apply that also. And here in my like university, and my supervisor said maybe just saw my email and said yes, I can guide you. And I just went through all administrative process application and I applied, came here. But the supervising process is totally different. Like here people are too, like, maybe very professional, maybe sometimes some people are very friendly, and like we don't have kind of relationship hierarchy here. And yeah, and it's very I feel good to be here. And the supervisor is very nice and very, maybe they have no idea about what is the caste here. But when I came here, like we started talk about what is the caste, like I just explaining, and it's kind of struggle. It was kind of struggle for me at the beginning. Like I need to explain every detail because my reader is maybe the Australia people also, because they need to read my thesis and comment, and other people. Like I try to explain what is the untouchability here, what is the SC, what is the Dalit. So, and yeah, they are very I think good to guide and so, yeah, in the thesis also. But they said the most I think good thing is, like my supervisor said, you don't need to read other people. You only need to focus what the Dalit literature is and what the Dalit women have done. That is the most important for you. And in India, people don't say that. You need to work all the broadly. We need to go to Western, country, what they have done. You need to mention, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So it's very, kind of professional everything here.
Yeah, I mean, much more focused and much more to the point they are asking.
Yes, yeah.
Here we have to give all the references from Western theories and all, and we have to bring up parallels.
Yeah, I didn't mention anyone. Only to the, like, whoever, have done related to the lead. And specifically, I have mentioned the lead women work, who have, written on Dalit women education, their experience. So that is very much, meaningful to other than anything. Yeah.
One question from YouTube. YouTube से आया है question. So the person is name is We the People. His name must be something else. So he or she is asking that ओडिशा में अभी कौन कौन से यूथ आइकन है जो सोसाइटी के लिए अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. So he is asking. I mean, ओडिशा में बहुत आइकन है sir.
There are
You could.
five, I can say, like I'm involved in one organizations like the Kalinga Mitra Trust, and yeah, so working very well, and we need to be, more hard work in this movement. So that is one. And like in Kalinga Mitra, it was helping student also in education in some way, and doing a movement in, the social movement, the gender patriarchy. I was talking because we are aware, so we need to talk about all these kind of things. And there are many organizations also, like Savitri Bai Phule, maybe based on the Balangir and Bhubaneswar also. There are 2, 3 organizations, MSY and all. Yeah. So actually now, before it was not like that, but now in Odisha, it's gradually movement is like, evolving. I can say, like, yeah, it's growing. Yeah. I hope in the future it will be more like, yeah, it's good, and everywhere we can see movement and we can change something better. Yeah.
Super. I mean, youth icon as such. If you, what does make icon and all? I mean, every person has their own.
Also, I missed one thing. In so university also, universities level also, we have some BAPSA, like the JNU have the BAPSA. Like we have also like the Sambalpur University, Utkal University, and yeah, other university. We have a student organization. I can say the youths. There's, they started to talk about. They started to make a discourse within the university, because it's a very important, because before it was not there. Only we can see like the JNO, like the TISS, big university institute. we can, we find. But now in other university also, our student, they inspire from other university, from other student, our community, and they started to about, even the Dalit and in the name of the Ambedkarite movement. So that is also kind of great achievement for our youth and our society. Yeah.
Prachi is saying, I look up to Jitu Bhai and he's got inspired by him. Yes, Jitu is.
I inspired by Jitu a lot. He's my brother. He's encouraged me in the beginning. So he's so, yeah. I can't listen you.
Sorry, I mean, the question of icon, no. I mean, the icons are Swati, icons are Jitu Bhai, and many people who have made it to universities, made it to the top. And so these are icons, and they also inspire us, and they also I mean, this zeal to have I mean, crossing over their own boundaries, crossing over their own social locations, and moving away from it, moving beyond it, that is also inspiring. And what more one icon could offer? Yes, Swati, anything?
Yeah, I can say like when I was at Nagloka, so student came from like at the time to meet us during what is that one yeah, so they used to come in once a year, and they you know they tried they talked about like higher education. So the first, yeah, so we firstly inspired by like student from Jenu, and mostly they were from Odisha and other part of India also, and Maharashtra also. Yeah.
Uh, I mean, Swati has taken out time for us, and I'm sure other students will have some question. But if they are not able to write it now, you can also post it on our community page. Mm. Swati, I really want to ask, because we are at Digital Nalanda, we have students from like every state almost, and what we find is there is a tremendous response from Odisha, state of Odisha also. I mean, very much focused and very much. Uh, Before that, I'll take another question. It's from Nilesh Kumar. So he's asking, what are your future plans, Swati?
Hmm, future plan. Yeah. See, like we have like many vision mission to work. So I have also same, like we can share, like it's look like we're sharing our like what do we want to do. Yeah, I want to, after PhD, I want to go to actually specifically the Odisha. I want to stay there. I want to work there. I want to join other people, yeah, to contribute to also social movement and other things, education or other kind of, yeah, so broadly.
So going back to, okay, Prachi has another thing. Ma'am, how important it is to recognize girls' caste when she facing caste atrocity in rural areas. Uh, I mean, Prachi, is Prachi asking?
I can read how important it is to recognize girls caste when she faced on caste atrocity in rural area. See, caste atrocity, you are, I mean, answering also the questions. The caste atrocity happened mostly in rural area. I mean, yeah, I can take example from Odisha. Mostly we have, I already said, like in our region, like it's mostly, SC, ST and OBC. So mostly, caste atrocity have SC, ST and OBC. They committed atrocity against untouchable people, the living. And other country, yeah, upper caste. So how can I know? How can I know? This is I can, yeah, because it's visible and it's I think it's easy to know, and because people are talking about who did what. And recently, recently one like case happened in Odisha, and it has also reported like the name, and mostly because why? Mostly, people from the upper caste target the lead, murdering, raping, so many things. Yeah, it's obvious. Did I make sense?
It's Prachi, is that does that answer your question? Okay. I mean, the thing is, there is a clear demarcation in some regions, and people know who comes from which community and all. So, so it's like open over there. I mean, people know each other's caste.
It's a village, kind of. If you are talking about the rural, so mostly we know each other, and it's kind of not big, big city, so you can't know. It's a village, so I can know each community. So it's yeah, so it's very easy.
Okay. Uh, so almost we are at the end of our first session. Uh, there is one question from YouTube. Can we take? Uh,
Sure.
acha. The YouTube question is asking: is there any person in media in Odisha who is addressing issues of caste and our community? He's asking. Much of like Odisha centric he is asking.
Okay. Yeah, there are, nowadays we don't watch even active media. And mirror, I can say I have mirror there, and so many people are just are using their mobile and taking every case and posting everywhere. I can say this is the most important thing, and we know from this kind of media, like we can say the Facebook, social media, Instagram. So and and news what is going on around in our society. So and there are, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, like we have almost like crossed the time now, and Swati, it's like I mean, we look up to you. I mean, students look up to, and as I said, there are so many students in Odisha who are, I mean, so much they're having so much zeal and so much enthusiasm for higher education. We at Digital Nalanda, I mean, we know because we get so much registrations from Odisha. So I mean, it's good that you have come here and you are a kind of, I mean, you being on our platform and you being our friend also. I mean, it means a lot to us also. And also, these students from Odisha, they'll also get to inspire from you, and not much to learn. And all the best to you. Thank you for taking out time, and uh, eh, anything which you want to say to our students, or you want to say about any.
Okay, last time Anup sir, asked me to talk about like yeah, specifically experience my journey to Sydney University. But at that time, others, other students from our community, maybe they already talked about it, so I didn't. reply to anniversary. I'm sorry for that. If anyone, talk about any student want to, interaction, talk about anything, want to know about anything, so we can make a session. So yeah. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Nalanda team, for great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Swati. And we wish you all the good luck and all the best for your research work. And hope to meet you soon. And also, also डिजिटल नालंदा से जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you.
Thank you, JB, and thank you all for here for listening me.
Thank you. Uh, moving on to our next second session. And we have another friend of ours with us. Just a minute. Ajay sir, can you pin Arpana? No? Hello. Ajay sir? Okay. Okay, so moving on to our next session, and thank you so much, Ajay sir. And we have another very good friend, Arpana, with us. Welcome, Arpana. Hello.
Hi, Subodh. Hi.
Hi. And Arpana is super busy, and she has, I mean, I know, and she always is on the go, and she talks us, and so hurry she is, and she has made it to our talk today. So we are so much, I mean, grateful to her. So I'll share a brief intro of her, and she has a whole big CV shared with us, but I'll share a brief intro. Arpana is a health system professional, policy enthusiast, and a researcher. She did her bachelor in dental surgery from Maulana Azad Medical College, New Delhi, and has a master in health administration from the TISS, Mumbai. She also did her Mphil from TISS, Mumbai, and is currently pursuing PhD in public health. She has worked with the National Health Mission, and her research is around community health workers on understanding accountability dynamics in the interaction with community and health system in Jharkhand region. So welcome again, Arpana, and thank you for taking your time. And please share your, please throw some light on your topic. Over to you.
Thank you, Subodh. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. Yeah, the schedule has been थोड़ा शेड्यूल मेरा बिजी रहता है क्योंकि ऑफिस के साथ थोड़ा पीएचडी भी जगलिंग में, तो सॉरी इतना इनकन्वीनियंस के लिए. But thank you so much for giving me this opportunity कि मैं अपना एक्सपीरियंस सभी के साथ शेयर कर पाऊँ कि मैं किस क्षेत्र में काम करती हूँ और मेरा काम किस संदर्भ में है. मैंने अपनी डेंटिस्ट्री की पढ़ाई दिल्ली से मौलाना आजाद मेडिकल कॉलेज से पूरी की है, जैसा कि सुबोध ने बताया. एक मेडिकल ग्रेजुएट होने के साथ साथ मैंने अपनी मास्टर्स की पढ़ाई टिस से हेल्थ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में की, जिसके बाद मैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ दिल्ली में नेशनल हेल्थ मिशन के साथ काम करती थी. तो और 6 साल मैंने एनएचएम के साथ काम करने के बाद रियलाइज किया, और वैसे भी हमेशा से एस्पिरेशन था कि पीएचडी करनी है. तो क्योंकि प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट में थी और फिर उसके बाद रिसर्च में शिफ्ट होने के लिए मुझे लगा फंडामेंटल ऑफ रिसर्च सीखना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, ताकि हम जिस क्षेत्र में अपना काम करते हैं उसमें पकड़ अच्छी हो. तो इसलिए डायरेक्ट पीएचडी के लिए एलिजिबल होते हुए भी मैंने एमफिल पीएचडी जो इंटीग्रेटेड प्रोग्राम है टिस का स्कूल ऑफ हेल्थ सिस्टम स्टडीज के अंदर उसमें ज्वाइन किया था। तो 2 साल एमफिल के बाद फिर ऑटोमेटिकली जिसमें आप इंटीग्रेटेड पीएचडी प्रोग्राम में एनरोल हो जाते हो, जो कि अब मेरे ख्याल से अब डिसकंटिन्यू कर दिया है टिस ने, अब दोनों प्रोग्राम्स डीलिंक हो गए हैं। एक्सपीरियंस की बात करूं कि कहाँ से शुरुआत हुई थी मेरी जर्नी, तो मैं झारखंड से हूँ, पर क्योंकि मेरे पेरेंट्स दिल्ली में सरकारी सिस्टम में काम करते थे तो इसलिए पढ़ाई दिल्ली में ही हुई है। लेकिन कभी भी मतलब अपने रूट से दूर रही नहीं, क्योंकि हमेशा से परिवार में वो जुड़ाव रहा है झारखंड से। तो इसलिए काफ़ी मास्टर्स का रिसर्च और एमफिल और पीएचडी का रिसर्च, प्लस जब मैं मिनिस्ट्री के साथ काम करती थी तो एसोसिएशन काफ़ी क्लोजली रहा झारखंड से। मेडिकल कॉलेज अगर बात करें तो काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग एक्सपीरियंस था। कभी भी मेडिकल कॉलेज में ने एहसास नहीं दिलाया कि बाहर किस तरह से की जिंदगी आसान भी हो सकती है। ये इसलिए कहूँगी क्योंकि हमेशा से मेडिकल कॉलेज में आपका जो इतना एम्फेसिस वाइवा में होता है तो आपका इंटरेक्शन काफ़ी प्रोफेसर्स के साथ बहुत क्लोजली होता है। तो बाकायदा पढ़ाई करने के भी साथ साथ आपको ये प्रूव करते रहना पड़ता है कि आप उस जिस सीट पर बैठे हैं वो आप उसके लायक हैं। तो हमेशा प्रेशर बना रहता है, बट शायद वो ही मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी सीख थी कि मैं सिर्फ एक क्लिनिशियन बन के नहीं रहना चाहती थी, कि हमेशा से मन था कि लोगों के साथ काम करूं और बहुत क्लोजली काम करूं। जिस तरह से मेडिसिन की पढ़ाई होती है वो लोगों से बहुत दूर होती है। आपको ये पढ़ाया जाता है कि बीमारी ये है, पर ये नहीं बताया जाता कि जब आप उस बीमार इंसान को ट्रीट कर रहे हो तो वो उस बीमार इंसान का भी कोई कॉन्टेक्स्ट है, उसका भी कोई बैकग्राउंड है जिसको आप एड्रेस करना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है। तो इसीलिए कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन मतलब हमेशा से मेरा इंटरेस्ट रहा था। और एक तरह से सपोर्ट और जानकारी मुझे मेरी बहन के ज़रिए मिली कि टिस एक ऐसा इंस्टीट्यूट है जो सोशल साइंस के ऊपर भी एम्फेसिस करता है। और जब आप साइंस बैकग्राउंड से होते हैं तो क्योंकि टेक्निकल नॉलेज पे इतना ज़्यादा एम्फेसिस होता है कि आपको सोशल साइंस या सोशियोलॉजी कभी पढ़ाई नहीं जाती है। तो इसलिए मुझे याद है फर्स्ट ईयर जब हमारे एफसी कोर्सेज थे, फाउंडेशन कोर्सेज जो टिस में होते हैं, जिसमें आपको सोशियोलॉजी, इकोनॉमिक्स और उन सब चीज़ों के बारे में पढ़ाया जाता है, वो मुझे काफ़ी भारी लगता था। बट आप जैसे जैसे पढ़ने की कोशिश करते हैं और समाज के साथ आप जितने जुड़ते जाते हैं तब आपको समझ आती है उसकी एप्लीकेशन क्या है। तो काफ़ी सारी टिस की पढ़ाई को मैं वो मानती हूँ कि जिसने मुझे मौका दिया कि मैं आगे के अपने करियर के लिए प्रिपेयर हो पाऊँ। और इसीलिए जब इमिडिएटली आफ्टर मास्टर्स हम लोगों की टाइम पर 2008-10 में मैंने अपनी मास्टर्स इन हेल्थ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की थी। तब प्लेसमेंट सेल नहीं होते थे, तो हमारे यहाँ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट सिर्फ 8 बच्चों का हुआ था हमारे बैच में से, जिसमें 26 लोग थे। तो उन 26 में से 8 में से मैं भी एक थी, और मौका मिला नेशनल लेवल पे काम करने का। और वो इंटरेक्शन मेरे लिए काफ़ी लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस था, क्योंकि तब मेरा एक्सपोजर हुआ अलग अलग स्टेट्स में। और ये कमी तब तब महसूस हुई जब आप बात करते हो स्टेट्स में और आपको समझ नहीं आता कि लोग वहाँ पर क्यों स्वास्थ्य पद्धति से इतने दूर हैं। हमेशा सिस्टम का यही कहना होता है कि लोग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं किसी तरह की अगर आप वैक्सीन की ही बात करें, सबसे कॉमन एग्जांपल रहता है कि लोग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं, पर असलियत कहीं और ही है। असलियत ये भी है कि कहीं सिस्टम कभी नहीं समझता कि लोगों की ज़रूरतें किस तरह से। तो इसलिए जो पीपल सेंट्रिक अप्रोच जो हमेशा से प्लानिंग और पॉलिसी में वो मिसिंग रहा है, पर उसका एक बहुत मेजर कारण ये भी है क्योंकि रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है। जैसे हम 3 कैंपस से मिनिस्ट्री में काम करते थे, 3 कैंपस से लोग थे। एक था TISS, एक आईएचएमआर दिल्ली और एक और पुणे का सिम्बायोसिस पुणे। पर उनमें से एक भी आदिवासी कोई नहीं था। और फिर मुझे एहसास हुआ कि झारखंड से कोई भी नहीं था। तो अगर हमें जब स्टेट विजिट्स भी जाने होते थे और जब बोला जाता था कि कौन जाएगा, तो फिर कोई भी झारखंड या बिहार या यूपी नहीं जाना चाहता था, क्योंकि वो इतने फैंसी स्टेट्स नहीं लगते ना कि आप विजिट, और प्लस इश्यूज इतने सारे हैं कि कई बार लगता है कि लोग भी कई बार ये सोचते हैं कि जितना हम तो सब कुछ बदल नहीं सकते, लेकिन एक प्रेजेंस और एक इम्पोर्टेंट ये था कि हम उस जिस कम्युनिटी से आते हैं, शायद उसकी बात को आगे रखने में हम एक तरह से एजेंट बन जाते हैं कि अब तो भले ही मैंने दिल्ली में पढ़ाई की थी, तो जब भी बात होती थी झारखंड की तो सब मुझसे पूछने लगते थे कि अच्छा झारखंड में आप लोग कैसे होते हैं, आदिवासी लोग कैसे होते हैं। और एक तरह से वो भी मेरे लिए रीटरेशन था कि अपने कम्युनिटी के बारे में जानना और किस तरह से उसको रखना, जो कि एक आप अपने में ही एक चैलेंज है, क्योंकि जब सिस्टम नहीं समझता कि लोग कौन है और क्या है, तो उनको समझाना भी उतना ही मुश्किल पड़ जाता है। तो एक वो बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस था। मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ कि सरकारी महकमे के साथ काम करना शायद मेरे को अब आसान लगता है दैन प्राइवेट, क्योंकि अभी मैं ऑक्सफोर्ड पॉलिसी मैनेजमेंट करके एक रिसर्च कंसल्टिंग फर्म है जो ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी से एसोसिएट है, उसमें काम करती हूँ। उसमें भी डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर के ही लोग हैं, बट उसमें भी जो कहेंगे भारतीय लोग हैं, शायद वो भी बहुत कम जानते हैं कि कास्ट का क्या मतलब है, ट्राइब का क्या मतलब है, कौन है, और उनका कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है। तो शायद सरकारी महकमे को इसलिए पता है क्योंकि जो हमारे स्कीम्स हैं वो मोस्टली हेल्थ स्कीम्स जो है वो मोस्टली दलित और आदिवासी कम्युनिटीज के लिए बनाई क्या जाती हैं, मतलब उनके लिए टारगेटेड होती हैं। तो एक वो बहुत ही मेरे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ रही है, जिसकी वजह से जो मेरा रिसर्च एरिया है वो कम्युनिटी हेल्थ वर्कर्स के साथ है। तो जो कम्युनिटी हेल्थ वर्कर्स जिनको आशा भी कहते हैं, सभी स्टेट्स में है, तो वो एक इम्पॉर्टेंट लिंक नेशनल हेल्थ मिशन के अंडर गवर्नमेंट ने एक तरह से रिकग्नाइज किया हुआ है कि कम्युनिटी से लिंक बनाने का सिस्टम का, ताकि लोगों को मोटिवेट करने के लिए, मोबिलाइज करने के लिए। तो वो जो कार्डर है वो मुझे बहुत इंस्पायरिंग लगता है। कई बारी जब मैं भी फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाती थी कि जब मैं अपने एमफिल के रिसर्च के टाइम ट्रैवल कर रही थी और मैं भी फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाती थी कि कितने दूर जाना है, जाने के लिए बस नहीं है, ऊपर से स्कॉलरशिप नहीं मिल रही, तो कैसे जाएं, धूप है, ऐसा है वैसा। तो और जब मैं इन आशा दीदियों से बात करती थी तो मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि ये तो जिनको एक पक्की सैलरी भी नहीं मिलती है वो लोग भी काम कर रहे हैं, और उनसे मैं हमेशा, और ये मेरी आदत रही है, मैं उनसे हमेशा पूछती हूँ कि आपको तो सैलरी नहीं मिलती है, आपको इतने पैसे भी नहीं मिलते और जितने मिलने चाहिए वो टाइम पे भी नहीं मिलते, तो आप करते क्यों हो? तो उनका एक ही जवाब रहता है कि अगर हम अपने गांव के लिए नहीं करेंगे तो कौन करेगा। और ये मतलब इट्स अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग इंट्रिंसिक मोटिवेशन। मुझे अभी तक नहीं समझ आता व्हाट ड्राइव्स देम एंड हाउ इट ड्राइव्स देम, बट इट स्टिल इज वेरी कंटेजियस। मतलब अगर आप उनसे बात करें और आप उनसे दो वक्त भी गुजारे, तो वो कहते हैं कि अब तो पहले तो हमें लगता था कि हम पढ़े लिखे नहीं हैं तो हम अपने गांव के लिए कुछ नहीं कर सकते, पर जब से मैं आशा बनी हूँ तो मुझे लोग पहचानते भी हैं और मैं किसी न किसी तरह मदद भी कर सकती हूँ। सो that's one of those things which keeps me going in the field, because a lot of times when you get demotivated when things are not working, which happens very often at least in government sector, and given the times that we are in right now, health systems become even more relevant because आफ्टर द पैंडेमिक सबको रियलाइजेशन तो है कि हेल्थ सर्विसेज होनी चाहिए, लेकिन उसका किस तरह से चेंज होना चाहिए, किस तरह से पीपल सेंट्रिक होना चाहिए, कि किस तबके को वो सेवाएं मिलनी चाहिए और कैसे मिलनी चाहिए, उसकी किसी को अंडरस्टैंडिंग इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि जिस कम्युनिटी और जिन लोगों को सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है उनकी वॉइसेस को सिस्टम तक पहुंचाने के जरिए बहुत कम है, और अगर वो कुछ एक आधा पहुंच भी जाए तो उनको समझने वाले लोग और उस समझ को एक्शन में कन्वर्ट करना या पॉलिसी में कन्वर्ट करना, वो और एक बड़ी दुविधा और बड़ा ही लंबा जर्नी है। इसलिए आप इसलिए जब सुबोध ने भी मुझसे पूछा था मेरे बायो के बारे में, तो मैंने स्पेसिफिकली हेल्थ सिस्टम्स की बात की थी, और आई डोंट से पब्लिक हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल स्पेसिफिकली, बिकॉज एक डिफरेंस है हेल्थ सिस्टम और पब्लिक हेल्थ में। पब्लिक हेल्थ एक स्पेशलाइज्ड ब्रांच है विद इन कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन, जो डिजीज प्रिवेंशन और प्रमोशन की बात करता है, तो उसका अप्रोच काफ़ी मेडिकल साइंस ओरिएंटेड है। और एक हेल्थ सिस्टम्स रिसर्च एंड पॉलिसी रिसर्च एक ऐसा इमर्जिंग फील्ड है हेल्थ सिस्टम्स के अंदर, जो कि बात करता है कैसे हेल्थ स्ट्रक्चर्स या हेल्थ सर्विसेज ऑर्गेनाइज होने चाहिए, जिसमें लोगों को फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी मिले और पीपल सेंट्रिक बनाने के लिए। इसीलिए हेल्थ सिस्टम्स जो है एक मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी फील्ड बन जाता है, जिसमें वैसे इंटरनेशनली काफ़ी डाइवर्स बैकग्राउंड के लोग उसमें आते हैं, जैसे पीपल फ्रॉम सोशियोलॉजी बैकग्राउंड, पीपल फ्रॉम इकोनॉमिक्स बैकग्राउंड, to actually understand and say that how programs and policies should be designed in the context of the people. So although global health discourse में भी बहुत बात होती है decolonizing global health की, जिसमें बहुत से LMIC लो और मिडिल इनकम कंट्रीज हैं जो काफ़ी आगे बढ़ चढ़ के डिस्कोर्स को ड्राइव करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। पर still, in spite of this attempt, Indian representation still remains largely from a very upper caste sort of a representation. We hardly have people who would be who are activists or who raise voice from the communities that we belong to. So there is a huge scope and opportunity from communities, from Dalit and Adivasi communities, and इसलिए मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि क्योंकि मेडिकल साइंस जो है और हमारे देश में पब्लिक हेल्थ बोलते ही सब सीधे डॉक्टर को देखते हैं, और ये सोच बहुत ही कम है कि कोई पॉलिटिकल साइंस बैकग्राउंड का या कोई जैसे अभी रिसेंटली लास्ट ईयर ही मैं जब स्टूडेंट से इंटरेक्ट कर रही थी, तो एक केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड से एक स्टूडेंट थी जिसने पब्लिक हेल्थ ज्वाइन किया है, और उसका पूरा फोकस था कि वो इन्वायरमेंटल हेल्थ पे कंसंट्रेट करे, क्योंकि विद upcoming fields like climate change, disaster management, there is a lot of opportunities for people from a orientation of health system to work and contribute in different spaces, be it fields of academia, yeah, research, yeah, program management. Also, another important thing that we do realize with so many government fellowships coming in, जैसे आपने सुना ही होगा रूरल डेवलपमेंट फेलोशिप्स है, आप गुड गवर्नेंस फेलोशिप है, और इन्हीं सब के अंदर भी देयर इज अ स्कोप फॉर एक्चुअली वर्किंग इन द फील्ड ऑफ हेल्थ। लाइक फ्यू ऑफ माय कॉलीग्स जो एमफिल में थे, उन्होंने जैसे गुड गवर्नेंस फेलोशिप, और तेलंगाना की एक और फेलोशिप है जो कि सोशल वेलफेयर डिपार्टमेंट के साथ है। सो वो वहाँ पर वो जो वहाँ पे स्कूल्स हैं दलित स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, जो हॉस्टल्स हैं, रेसिडेंशियल स्कूल्स हैं, उसमें दे डू अ हेल्थ असेसमेंट, बट द अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ हेल्थ and what is the need for adolescent girls is something which is very difficult for the social welfare department to understand. So as a health system professional or as a public health person, there's a lot of scope to actually find a place and opportunity to work in. Also, secondly, the research bit is very important in the context of health. Although हमारे जो decisions अभी हम pandemic के दौरान देख रहे हैं, कोई evidence based है नहीं, लेकिन it is while what happens actually in the field and theoretically what is important, there is always going to be a need to have that kind of evidence, and there is always going to be a more and more reliance on evidence to justify whatever you're doing. But at the same time, we need to be so equipped in our skills to how do we design research so that the evidence is not biased. इससे मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि जैसे मैं आपको उदाहरण देती हूँ कि मेरे ऑफिस में जब हम लोग वी वर डूइंग एन असेसमेंट ऑफ कि लास्ट ईयर कितना डेटा था, इन्फेंट मोर्टालिटी कितनी थी और फिर मटर्नल मोर्टालिटी कितनी थी, उसकी कंपैरिजन करने थे कि बढ़ा है, घटा है, क्या हुआ। तो क्योंकि मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग थी रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी की, तो जो मेरे डेप्यूटी डायरेक्टर थे उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि अर्पणा ये करके देना। और फिर एंड गवर्नमेंट ऑलवेज एम्फसाइजेस कि भाई प्रोग्रेस दिखना चाहिए, सो यू सॉर्ट ऑफ प्रेजेंट द डेटा इन अ वे दैट it shows progress, but actually if you empirically analyze it, अगर आप उसे ध्यान से देखें methodologically अगर वो सही नहीं है तो आप जो प्रोग्रेस नहीं भी हो रहा है उसको भी प्रोग्रेस दिखा सकते हैं। I know I might get into trouble by saying this, but it is important to put our foot down and say that the need for evidence to be true is only because what we base our decision on has to be true. अगर हमारा अंडरस्टैंडिंग या डेटा ही गलत हम इंटरप्रेट कर रहे हैं तो जो उसके बाद हमारा एक्शन बेस्ड होगा वो कभी भी सही नहीं होगा. It is not going to address the problem that we are trying to address. So that's one of the places where I realized that the importance of research in, even if you are in program management, even अगर आप हेल्थ सिस्टम्स के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, तो जो डेटा को रीड करना या रिसर्च को किस तरह से रीड करना है और डिज़ाइन करना है एक इम्पॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट हो जाता है. जब मैंने पीएचडी ज्वाइन किया था मेरा कभी भी इरादा ये नहीं था कि मैं एकेडमिया में जाऊंगी. मेरे हमेशा से इंक्लिनेशन रहा है कि मैं प्रोग्राम और हेल्थ सिस्टम्स के साथ काम करूं, सिंपली बिकॉज थोड़ा सा आपको चेंज देखने का मौका मिलता है. रिसर्च मेरे लिए थोड़ा टाइम टेकिंग है, ऑल्दो इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट एट द सेम टाइम थोड़ी आदत है ना एक्शन देखने की. तो जब आप इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के बहुत क्लोज होते हो तो फिर आप एक्चुअली में लोगों के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हो, तो दैट्स ऑल्सो अनदर सेट ऑफ लर्निंग. एंड बिकॉज आवर यूनिवर्सिटीज आर नॉट वेरी क्लोजली वर्किंग, जैसे TISS भी मैं कहूँगी कि हमारा जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है या जो कनेक्ट है सिस्टम्स के साथ या जिस तरह से हमारे स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑर्गेनाइज है उससे बहुत दूर हो जाता है. सो इट टेंड्स टू बिकम अ बिट थियोरेटिकल. So after doing PhD, the only option, I don't see it as academia, but the application of the research that you've learned in anything that you're doing. So it gives you a much better understanding, and that's where I always say that I'm a policy enthusiast, because what we design policies and how we design policies is something which is not very consultative or very people centric, but at the same time when you're in those spaces where so health policy जो recent थी वो मतलब जब मैं मिनिस्ट्री में काम करती तब मेरे सामने ही बनी थी. And while the process is very the system has tried to make it very consultative कि भाई स्टेट के साथ हमें कंसल्टेशंस करनी है या हमें फीडबैक या हमें इनवाइट करने हैं लोगों के कमेंट्स, और इसलिए ड्राफ्ट जो सबसे पहले जो ड्राफ्ट बनता है वो उस पे जाता है, वेबसाइट पे जाता है, एंड पीपल कैन रिस्पॉन्ड एंड कमेंट एंड आर्ग्यू. बट एट द सेम टाइम फाइनल कॉल जो होता है वो प्रॉब्ली बंद कमरे में ही कुछ लोगों के द्वारा होता है, क्योंकि while the idea is to have as much feedback as possible, but in reality it is also very difficult to incorporate everything, and the challenge will always remain. What is मतलब challenge हमेशा ये रहता है कि भाई ज़्यादा harm नहीं होना चाहिए, फायदा अगर ना भी हो पर किसी को harm नहीं होना चाहिए. So yeah, so all in all, I'm sorry मैंने काफी स्ट्रक्चर नहीं किया था अपना थॉट, इसलिए I took it very impromptly.
No, it's perfect, going perfect. Please.
Yeah, so that's like, so I wanted to talk about my experience as well as what I see as opportunity within the sector that I work in. And I would welcome any questions, or if there is anything specifically anybody wants to ask, or so both if you can just point me out that कि अगर कोई ऐसी specific चीज जो
जी जी
पे मैं elaborate करूँ तो useful
बिल्कुल.
होगा.
आई मीन ऑलमोस्ट, आई मीन ये नया, जितना हम पब्लिक हेल्थ सिस्टम और इन इन कम्युनिटी हेल्थ वर्कर के बारे में जानते हैं, आई मीन आपने एक अलग नजरिए से बताया. एक मिनट, थोड़ा जो भी उसके लिए जितने पिक्चर्स बनते थे वो थोड़े ब्रेक किया है आपने, बिकॉज सर्टन थिंग्स लाइक मुझे भी कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं. एक कुछ क्वेश्चंस तो यूट्यूब पे ऑलरेडी आने लगे हैं, लेकिन मेरा अभी पहले पूछ लेता हूँ, क्योंकि आपने कहा क्योंकि ये आशा वर्कर्स है जो जिनका मोटिवेशन बड़ा ही आपको वो कर गया, और क्योंकि बिना सिक्योरिटी के और बिना शायद एनी, अभी जैसे पीपी और ये सब हम लोग मानते हैं, छोटा छोटा मतलब शहरों में नर्स तो बिना उसके बिल्कुल, तो वहाँ उस लेवल पर उनको उतना मतलब क्या कहते हैं ना, उतने सेफ गार्ड्स नहीं होते और उतने उनके नहीं कराए जाते. फिर भी एक, क्या आप ये सोचते हैं क्योंकि उनको जिस तबके से आती है, जिस बैकग्राउंड से, फर्स्ट टाइम उन्हें कोई रिकॉग्निशन मिलता है या कोई वो, तो वो बड़ा एक मोटिवेटिंग फैक्टर है उनके लिए, ऐसा आपको लगता है?
हाँ, मतलब दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि एक वो रिकग्निशन है, और अगर आप गाइडलाइंस में भी देखेंगे तो एम्फोसिस हमेशा ये था कि टू चूज समबडी हु इज फ्रॉम अ मार्जिनलाइज्ड कम्युनिटी. And I always say this, that probably because they are from marginalized community, that's why the attention to their needs, be it requirement for PPE during a pandemic, be it a certain respectable amount of remuneration, other things like even when they मतलब उनका एक बहुत important role है escort करना pregnant women को अस्पताल में. So just when they're accompanying them, तो उनको रहने या even एक restroom sort of, because they are required to stay there for 48 hours, 48 घंटों के लिए, जब तक डिलीवरी नहीं हो जाती उसके बाद भी उनको रहना होता है. प्लस वो हेल्प भी बहुत करती है महिलाओं की. तो एक वो भी मतलब देयर इज, आई डोंट हैव डेटा टू से दैट कि भाई इतनी महिलाओं के साथ ऐसा हुआ, पर एक परसेप्शन, मतलब एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग जरूर है कि अगर प्रोबेबली क्या ये दूसरी कम्युनिटी से होते तो इनके साथ ऐसा होता. और एक ये ऐसा अनकंफर्टेबल सवाल है जो आप सिस्टम के साथ हमेशा करोगे, या the moment you start talking about caste with the system, it's very difficult to, and that's why I said this, that कि आप जब ऐसे सिस्टम के साथ काम करते हो जो समझता नहीं है, और उसमें लोग भी ऐसे हैं जो सेंसिटिव नहीं है, तो उन्हें लगेगा कि, और आपका रिप्रेजेंटेशन अगर आप अकेले बोल रहे हो तो वो और मुश्किल हो जाता है, क्योंकि फिर वो लगेगा कि ये तो आपकी सोच है, हो सकता है आपको लग रहा है, ऐसा तो किसी ने बोला नहीं. पर जहां तक अगर कोई रिसर्च करे इसमें, तो प्रोबेबली विल बी एबल टू हैव मोर डेटा एंड एविडेंस टू से कि हाँ ऐसा होता है. पर जिनके दिमाग में वो बैठ जाए तो फिर वो डेटा और एविडेंस भी ज्यादा कुछ कर नहीं सकता. थैंक यू.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. ये क्वेश्चन अभी मैं लेता हूँ. अपर्णा का है, महेंद्रे, अपर्णा महेंद्रे, यूट्यूब पर हमारी व्यूअर है. उन्होंने पूछा है कि व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन रिगार्डिंग डॉक्टर्स just being technical scholars and lacking social aptitude, okay, and how it hampers efficiency of healthcare system, and what changes are required in the curriculum to rectify. Okay.
Yeah, really thank you for the question. मतलब I agree that मतलब मैंने काफी मिनिमली टच किया इस चीज को, बट हाँ, जो जिस तरह से हमारा मेडिकल एजुकेशन है, और अगर आप उसमें भी कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन की बात करें, जिसमें प्रोबेबली एक वर्ड कम्युनिटी आता है, बट वी हार्डली टॉक अबाउट कम्युनिटी इन कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन, वी ओनली टॉक अबाउट प्रिवेंटिव मेडिसिन. So looking at doctors as scholars, and it is something which requires a reorientation. There is a lot of unlearning that we need to do. uh, मैं पर्सनली अगर बोलूँ तो जैसे मैंने अपने अपने ब्रीफ में भी यही बोला कि जब मैं फर्स्ट ईयर में थी मास्टर्स में, it was very difficult for me to understand sociology probably because the way medicine is taught, this is the disease and probably इसके sign symptoms ये होते हैं, इसकी treatment ये होता है. But when a disease is जैसे हम epidemiology में भी पढ़ते हैं, there are social determinants of health. जैसे अगर if your livelihood is affected, your health is going to be affected and other things as well. So as if I would say that doctors do need an orientation of social sciences and how communities function, but at the same time there is another side to how we see social scientists who claim to be understanding communities, and they also sort of talk on behalf of Dalit and Adivasi students. I don't think they have a very good grounding themselves. So, but specifically coming to doctors as scholars, yeah, we do need to have a introduction and a thorough understanding of sociology and political science and economics in that sense. But the challenge remains, how do you introduce it in the curriculum? Because when you say that 5.5 साल का MBBS होता है या 5 साल का BDS होता है, तो अब उन वैसे तो इंग्लिश भी एक कोर्स है जो पढ़ाना चाहिए, प्रॉबेबली कहीं पर लिखा हुआ है लेकिन वो पढ़ाता नहीं है, क्योंकि एम्फेसिस आपका फिर वही हो जाता है कि अब आप एनाटॉमी फिजियोलॉजी पढ़ाएंगे कि सोशियोलॉजी पढ़ाएंगे, ऐसे तो ये भी पढ़ाना चाहिए. सो देयर इज ऑलवेज अ रेजिस्टेंस. So it's a little difficult to say, but at the same time, people who shift over to community medicine or public health, definitely there is a need for introducing social science subjects. Yeah, thank you.
Great. I'm sure अपर्णा को अपना आंसर थोड़ा मिल गया होगा, बट बिकॉज क्योंकि ये पॉलिसी लेवल की बात है और ये बहुत क्या कहेंगे जिसको एक टोटल सोच के चेंज का प्रश्न है जो करिकुलम से आता है, जो ये किसी तो ये पैराडाइम लेवल की आप हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं. बट स्टिल इसमें नीलेश कुमार हमारे दोस्त का सवाल है, एज एन आदिवासी पॉलिसी मेकर, what kind of experiences or challenges you see faced or had, or how you can influence while working with the state or with the Oxford Policy Group, the organization which you are.
Okay. I'll narrate it with an example. So जो ऑक्सफोर्ड पॉलिसी मैनेजमेंट में जो हमारा काम है, अभी जिस प्रोजेक्ट में मैं काम कर रही हूँ, इट इज ऑन सपोर्टिव सुपरविजन, जिसमें आशा वर्कर्स के जो इमीडिएट सुपरवाइजर्स होते हैं उनके जो फैसिलिटेटर्स हैं उनकी ट्रेनिंग के लिए हमने मॉड्यूल बनाया था. So there was this very important content so I've been a very important part in designing the module and how the delivery will happen. So I'm also involved in the training of these supervisors. So one important component that I insisted that we should have is component of how does a supervisor be caste sensitive and gender sensitive, and also sensitive to the needs of the people they are catering to. So एक formative study में बहुत evidently आया था कि there is this discrimination with community health workers. So I feel that our experiences have to be shifted to how implementation happens. So this was one very important thing which I was struggling to convince my teammates, that we need to put and we need to talk about Adivasis and we need to talk about Dalits, and we need to make it very evident, because if we are uncomfortable, we make it, we reiterate this fact that कि भाई इसके बारे में तो बात नहीं कर सकते, पर जब वो सामने से कह रहे हैं कि उनको इस तरह से प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, तो फिर हम क्यों नहीं करेंगे, मतलब सो दैट्स समथिंग विच मतलब थोड़ा मेहनत लगती है, थोड़ी खुद को भी थोड़ा सा स्ट्रॉन्ग करना पड़ता है कि भाई इसके बारे में कोई नहीं समझ रहा है लेकिन बोलना तो है, तो कैसे बोले. तो मतलब मैं I am as a person I'm not very, क्या बोले, adamant on things, but at the same time you have to uh, prioritize कि this is important, and then you sort of stick to it. And so one biggest challenge that I face is explaining people the context of Jharkhand, that अगर जो मेरा डिस्ट्रिक्ट है उसमें अराउंड 67% आदिवासी कम्युनिटी है. सो जब मैं अपना रिसर्च भी कर रही थी तो जब मैंने अपने गाइड को बताया कि मैंने सरपंच से बात की थी, तो सरपंच ने बोला कि नीति आयोग के जो स्कीम है वो, तो फिर द क्वेश्चन दैट आई वाज आस्क्ड वाज, ओ डज द सरपंच फ्रॉम झारखंड एंड फ्रॉम अ बैकवर्ड डिस्ट्रिक्ट नोज नीति आयोग? आई सेड दैट yes, he knew it, and he said it because he deals with it. And a lot of times there is an imagination, एक सोच है कि भाई शायद आदिवासी लोग ऐसे दिखते हैं, या जैसे मेरे साथ भी हुआ था कि जब मैं मेडिकल कॉलेज में पहुंची थी तो फिर मेरी अंग्रेजी शायद लोगों ने उम्मीद नहीं की थी कि अच्छी होगी, या जो भी आप इमेजिन करते. तो फिर मुझसे पूछा गया कि आप आदिवासी लगते तो नहीं हो, मतलब कहाँ से हो, ऐसे करके. तो आपकी अंग्रेजी तो बहुत अच्छी है, इंग्लिश कैसे आती? तो एक लड़का था बिहार से था, तो फिर वो मुझे बोलता था तुम मुझे सिखा दोगी अंग्रेजी. So there is this imagination of how a person would be and how a person from a backward community should speak or be or conduct, and that's one of the challenges to sort of पता नहीं, with time probably. And I really thank my friends and people I came across who've been very encouraging to say that okay, don't get disappointed or disheartened in that sense. And when I was working in the ministry, one of my bosses who was a director, and she was from Nagaland, and वो बहुत ही encouraging थी. तो वो भी मतलब you find these people who in your journey sort of support you, and you build relationships. And when I wanted to leave ministry and I was just 2 months away from my appraisal, और फिर उन्होंने मतलब मैंने बोला कि भाई मुझे नहीं जम रहा है, अब मुझे नहीं करना. और तो फिर then she was the one who was encouraging. And whenever there was so I had a very close interaction with her. So whenever there were issues or content or anything related to community health workers or anything, so she would always encourage me in that sense. So I would say I sort of managed to overcome challenges by seeking help and building on those relationships that I found in people who were very understanding and sensitive. Yeah, thank you.
Nice. So there is one message for you from our last speaker, Swati. It's nice to meet you, Arpana, and listen to you. More power to you, she's saying.
Thank you so much.
जो फोरम ये खुला है, आप लोग सवाल अपने पूछ सकते हैं, और हमारे पास अब बहुत कम समय बचा है, तो सवाल अपने पूछ सकते हैं. अर्पणा, this one question which struck me when you were explaining about the evidence aspect and the research methodology aspect, when you were saying that how important or how your location or any social location is important in reading data and also interpreting data, because you yourself have explained, and we have been in TISS and we have been in other places also, and they have I don't regard it what gaze and all, and that is there, but still an honest opinion about, or there could be another interpretation, this honest approach. Do you think coming from a social location, coming from a specific background, does it help, or does it give us another viewpoint in reading data or interpreting?
Yeah, that's one very important question. मैं तो अपने खुद के रिसर्च में अपने लोकेशन पोजीशन इतना एनालाइज करने की कोशिश करती हूँ कि कई बार so your social location is definitely affects how you read and interpret things, and probably that's the strength of it. And sometimes that if it gets overboard, it sort of becomes weakness as well. For example, like if I have to say my social location, I did a lot of my schooling, college from an urban context. मैं काफी दिल्ली में मैंने पढ़ाई की, और उसके बाद फिर क्योंकि फैमिली बहुत ही क्लोज रूटेड थी, जैसे मेरे पेरेंट्स भी शिफ्ट हो गए थे झारखंड, एंड प्लस आई हैव अ लॉट ऑफ फैमिली मेंबर्स इन झारखंड ऑल्सो, एंड मतलब मेरी खुद की भाभी आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर है, तो आप जो अपने कॉन्टेक्स्ट और अपने लोकेशन से जो इंटरप्रेट करते हैं उस पर फर्क पड़ता ही है. एंड मेथोडोलॉजी का प्रोबेबली एक वो होता है ना कि बायस रिड्यूस करना है कि भाई इंटरप्रेटर का बायस नहीं आना चाहिए, बट एट द सेम टाइम उसका वो स्ट्रेंथ भी होता है, क्योंकि अगर आप उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हैं तो उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट को समझने और समझाने में आपका ही लोकेशन आपको सपोर्ट करेगा. या तो मतलब it's a very tricky question. I am still exploring that. I'll tell you very honestly, because after I finished my Mphil, that was one thing when anybody asked me कि आप कहाँ से हो, तो उससे पहले मैं समझ नहीं पाती थी, मैं बोलूँ कि दिल्ली से हूँ कि मैं झारखंड से हूँ. लेकिन फिर जब मैंने Mphil खत्म किया तो मैं हमेशा ये बोलती हूँ कि मैं झारखंड से भी हूँ और मैं दिल्ली से भी हूँ, क्योंकि मतलब मेरा लोकेशन वो है, अब वो मेरा कॉन्टेक्स्ट है. And so that's how it does guide what I do and how I understand things.
Yes. Also about the research in terms of policy, कि क्योंकि कोई पॉलिसी डिवाइस करते टाइम आपका जो अप्रोच होगा, क्योंकि ठीक है हम दिल्ली में पढ़े हैं, हम बड़े सिटी में, लेकिन हमारा एक कनेक्ट हमारे रीजन से होता है, और जो कि हम बेटर वे से रिप्रेजेंट कर पाते हैं या हम देख पाते हैं. मे बी पॉलिसी में जो है, जो डिसीजन ले रहे हैं या जो इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं या उस डेटा को एक ही नजरिए से देख रहे हैं, उनको शायद वो नजरिया मतलब ऑनेस्ट लोग उनमें भी है, लेकिन उनको शायद ये क्लिक नहीं होता है.
And also when you question it, like अगर आप जैसे ये पॉलिसी तो बना दी कि भाई आशा वर्कर वॉलंटियर होनी चाहिए, पर उसका जो इम्पैक्ट है, उसको क्या वॉलंटियर ही रहना जरूरी है अब जब उनका काम इतना जरूरी है और इतना इम्पोर्टेंट है? दे कैन नॉट मैनेज कॉम्पनसेशन ऑफ वेज लॉस. अगर आप एक दिन छुट्टी लोगे तो फिर आप आशा वर्कर का काम करोगे, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. मतलब we know that the burden and the work that they do is important and it requires 24 hours. So मतलब how does it justify? So it gives you the power and the intellect to question what is there in the policy. So and policy cannot be stationary. It has to be a bit more dynamic, it has to be a bit more flexible, and with overtime you have to critique it, you have to question it. Maybe what was relevant then is not relevant now. So in that sense, yeah, matlab, that's how
yes. Okay. So another question from YouTube. Pragati is asking, and she is, I think, a student in master in hospital administration. So she is asking, please guide me regarding things we need to focus while pursuing MHA in order to strengthen my CV. She's asking very specific. She has.
Yeah, very important question. मतलब मास्टर्स में जब थी तब मुझे कोई बता देता तो शायद हेल्पफुल होता, बट हाँ, besides that I think what you do in your masters essentially, अभी तो जो TISS का curriculum है, it is very very extensive, and you have a component of your assignments, and so whatever assignments and work that you're doing internally, if you can find a place to publish it, like I find in our sector, when if you've published your work, and people I have seen from my batch mates as well, they've published their assignments as well. And because sometimes if you do a thorough job with one of your assignments and send it out for publication, it really helps. Secondly, the internship that you do, you work very religiously, and these organizations build relationships. So even after your course is over, do make sure that you have contact with the person that you work with, so that if you need any letter of recommendation or things, like I'm telling you very practical things that probably I did not pay attention to earlier, but it does help because our development sector is very close knit, especially health sector. काफी लोग linked हैं, and it's organizations to organizations, they keep shifting within the sector itself. So that really helps. And plus be updated in terms of what your, so with respect to hospital administration, there are a lot of opportunities coming in the private sector, you would see, but at the same time there is a lot of opportunity in the public sector as well. And initially, right after your masters, it really helps if you've had a very good experience in terms of a very close knit experience in a hospital, for a hospital management person, for a health management or a public health person, it makes a lot of relevance if you're working with the state. So while private organizations give you good packages, but to be able to leverage that and uh, to grow in those organizations is very limited. So I see a lot of value in working with the government and then sort of encashing through working with development partners, be it USAID or Japaigo or places like these. So yeah, I think these two things really help.
Yes, so प्रगति आप इन चीज़ों पर ध्यान दे और अभी अपने सीवी के हिसाब से इस पर काम करना शुरू कर दें, क्योंकि ये चीज़ें बाद में भी बहुत, क्योंकि एक बार आपने शुरू कर दिया तो ये परस्यू जारी रहेगा। अन्य कोई सवाल है? क्योंकि अर्पणा बहुत बिजी शेड्यूल से हमारे लिए टाइम निकाल के आई है, तो क्योंकि उनका समय रखते हुए हमको भी कदर करते हुए हमको आगे बढ़ना है। और अगर कोई सवाल नहीं है आगे, तो मैं बस एकदम हम लास्ट मोमेंट पे आ ही गए हैं वैसे भी। तो अर्पणा, लास्ट थिंग आई वुड लाइक टू नॉट जस्ट आस्क, बट it may seem generic, but it is very much important, because you have got one niche, and it's rarely people go into and get a chance to work in this form, like into research also, and you have worked in field also. So those who wish to pursue this career or this, उनके लिए आप कुछ स्पेसिफिक्स बोलना, जैसे प्रगति के लिए आपने बोला, ऐसे और कुछ बच्चों के लिए, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए आप बोलना चाहेंगे?
थोड़ा से या सो जैसे स्पेशली पब्लिक हेल्थ या हेल्थ सिस्टम्स रिसर्च या प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट इन हेल्थ एक काफ़ी नीश एरिया है, बट एट द सेम टाइम इसका स्कोप बहुत है, बिकॉज ग्लोबल हेल्थ इज ऑल्सो अनदर फील्ड विद इन हेल्थ सिस्टम्स एंड विद इन पब्लिक हेल्थ विच हैज अ लॉट ऑफ प्रोमिनेंस, एंड there are enough number of organizations working in the field of health, especially in the development sector. So there is no dearth of opportunity. It's just that how you have to recognize your strength in terms of whether you would want to go into program management or any kind of research or any kind of other intermediary areas, like, because there are within academics as well, even as training, if you want to be a trainer in health, those are opportunities which are going to exist. And with the current scenario of how the pandemic has brought health into forefront, so but at the same time it is important to be updated with what's happening, because just book knowledge will not help. Public health and health systems is a very application based sort of, and with WHO is not the only place, or UNICEF is not the only place. There are enough number of, like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation or Clinton Health Access Initiative. There are enough number of organizations from international forums which work in the sector of health. So whatever theme you choose, be it nutrition, be it vaccination, be it adolescent health, maternal health, be a master of what you're doing. So be well grounded in and know your basics well. I think that really helps. That's what has worked for me. Yeah.
Yes, and it has worked very nicely. So, so thank you so much for taking out time, Arpana, and we are so much glad and so much grateful that you have made to and you have been a part of our celebration, and these celebrations means a lot to our students, to our viewers who are associated with Digital Nalanda and the whole movement of democratizing education. And you being a part of this, we also celebrate your achievement, and best wishes to you and your and in your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
So इसी के साथ मुक्ति पर्व का इस साल का जो पूरा सेशन है वो कंप्लीट होता है, और मैं सुबह डिजिटल नालंदा की तरफ से आप सबका धन्यवाद करता हूँ। और इस अवसर पर, ज्योतिबा फुले और बाबा साहब की जयंती के अवसर पर हमने इन 12 अचीवर्स को सेलिब्रेट किया, इनके अचीवमेंट्स को हमने जाना और इनसे हम रूबरू हुए। तो हम डिजिटल नालंदा की तरफ से स्टूडेंट्स का भी और अन्य व्यूअर्स का भी धन्यवाद करते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच। जय हिंद।